Hey guys, and welcome to the Bayern View. Hope you guys are all doing well. Bayern Munich have just come from a 1-1 draw in the Champions League in the second leg, but we did get beat 4-1 on aggregate. I'm here with Fahad. Obviously, he's back on the channel. I'm very happy to have him. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to let you, the floor is yours, mate.
Thanks for that.
That's fine.
I'm as disappointed as you are, honestly, with this scoreline. I mean, it is not at all what me or any other Bayern fan expected or should expect from this club. I mean, the attacking output that our players put out this game was absolutely extraordinary. However, I felt that we didn't finish our chances. We definitely did not finish our chances. I mean, how many shots did we have from goal? 15, 16, like about that
I'm
amount.
loaded up
And
for you.
no one was scored. And that just goes to show that after Holland scored this goal, I think it was about two shots for City, and they scored one of them, and the other one was the pen. And that just goes to show that I think Bayern really need is a striker. We need somebody. Choupo-Moting is an amazing player. Don't get me wrong. However, the toll of age is really waning on him. He's 33, 34 now. I really do think that this club does need a new striker with the attacking output to match our wingers. Yeah, and on the topic of the game, of course, I don't want to delve too much into that situation. Bayern, honestly, I said, we produced a good amount of chances. Definitely, our wings and our left back and right back positions, Cancelo, Davies, Pavard, were very good that game. I have to say, defensively and attackingly, they were good. However, and our wingers especially were also very good. However, we did not finish those chances, and that's the worst part about it. We could have scored two or even three goals there that game, but unfortunately, we did not. And for me, that's the worst part about it. When you produce all these good chances, you can't finish them, and that's a problem that's been plaguing this team. I think throughout the season, I feel, especially games when Choupo-Moting and or any other attacking player that's very prominent in the squad was not playing. That's an issue which has been plaguing us definitely. And it's an example of such is when you see who's scoring for Bayern. Actually, I mean, as you said yourself, one of your last videos, a lot of our goals are coming from our centre backs, Pavard, Upamecano, the ligt are not getting goals. And I'm not saying that it's not good on them for getting goals. Of course, goals are goals. However, it just goes to show that Bayern Munich really have to come up with new ways to score when you don't really have a good striker, and we shouldn't be forced to do that. Bayern Munich, of course, Lewandowski was here for a good amount of time, almost, I don't want to say the wrong number, but 8 or 9 years, I think he was with the club.
Yeah,
And he scored
I
a
know.
huge amount of goals, of course. And I feel like you really just need the striker to do what Levy's been doing here, was doing here. And
Yeah,
if you have somebody like him, I would say you would definitely win games like this, especially Champions League games. Games versus big clubs, when you produce a lot of chances and you have a good striker, you can score a lot of goals. And especially a club like this, a big club like Bayern Munich, you would be able to capitalize off of those goals and win games.
yeah.
Um,
I'd have to say though, quickly, apologies for interrupting you. We had 19 shots and 7 of those were on target, right? They were there today for the taking, 110%.
yeah, I would definitely say so. And like I said, our wingers, especially today, were amazing. I don't want to say that our players generally didn't. They were amazing, but unfortunately, they didn't just finish the chances. Our chances were not finished. Um, And I don't want to say this as a demeaning thing to say to our wingers, but I definitely feel like some of those chances you really just need to score some of those chances, especially that goal line clearance for City. The goal line clearance that City no that City had versus us. I mean,
Yeah.
that just broke my heart if I'm going to be honest. We were so close to scoring, getting two goals. If we scored that, we would have two goals. It would be 2-1. I guess it could have been a different story if we had scored early on, but unfortunately, the game did end 1-1 when it really shouldn't have. What more
Yeah.
is there to be said?
I, I,
And
I, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. 110%. I'm with you. Um, what do you think of Kingsley Coman today?
Coman is an extraordinary player, of course. He's one of Bayern's best wingers, and he really did show that today, creating a lot of chances, get shooting a lot of, creating a lot of chances, and producing chances in of himself. But unfortunately he didn't finish any of the shots. He didn't end up scoring. And I saw a lot of people in the Bayern community praise him, and I would praise him, of course, too, for the chances he created. But I feel like some of those goals, you really do have to score some of those shots, especially when he was up close. Mm. And other than that, I want to also tackle Leroy Sané. He was also he was decent, I would say, in the game. He created a few chances. He got off a shot or two, if I'm not mistaken. Like
Just to finish him,
Coman, huh?
just to finish him for Leroy Sané.
It was really just the finishing. And he showed that the first leg. I mean, the first leg, Sané got 2 or 3 shots off on Ederson. All of them fairly close, but partly it's just luck, and partly it has to do with the power of the shot, the skill, the precision. Um, I wanted to talk upon it. I wanted to tackle an issue relating to the board,
Yeah,
Bayern's
go for it.
board,
Yeah,
which I've heard a lot of criticism of from the fan base,
yeah.
especially on YouTube and of course all these other social media sites. And I would have to agree with that criticism. Honestly, I feel like sacking Nagelsmann, one of the most promising young managers in Europe, period,
Yeah.
with a manager that clubs like Real Madrid, Chelsea, even at one point, even before he was taken, before even PSG now are currently going for him. All of these are huge clubs, and the fact that we just threw him away for a couple of dropped points in the league. I mean, don't get me wrong, dropping points in the league is never a good thing. But however, the fact that he went 8 out of 8 matches in the Champions League unbeaten just goes to show how good of a manager he is. And the fact that the board sacked him just because of his Bundesliga performances, I feel is an absolute disgrace. I mean, personally, I feel like it was an absolute disgrace and a disservice by the board to sack Julian Nagelsmann. He was one of the best managers. He was really the glue that held this team together a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like sacking him was one of the worst things you could have done in the middle of a season for any club, let alone a huge club like Bayern Munich. Sacking a manager causes a certain amount of not I wouldn't want to say chaos. However, it really is chaos in the dressing room, and that was showcased honestly when that incident with Mane and Leroy Sané. I would
Yeah.
honestly think under Julian Nagelsmann that incident would not have happened. And some people might say that he was young for the job, that's why he was sacked, or he might not have the experience yet to manage a club like Bayern Munich. Honestly, I would say that he does have an experience. He took Leipzig, RB Leipzig, a club that a couple of years ago was only promoted to the Bundesliga, to a Champions League semi-final. That just showcases how good of a manager this guy is, and I absolutely hate the fact that we sacked him. I honestly think that the board should really take responsibility for that awful decision, and that it should not be done again. I feel like, especially people like Khan, our CEO, Khan, should have really
Mhm.
stepped in, and a man like him, who usually has the final say on these important matters, should have realized that, yes, the board may be against them, but in turn, as CEO, I must realize that sacking Julian Nagelsmann is not currently the way to go. He has a certain amount of responsibility as CEO of the club to even sometimes go against the board's decisions, and vice versa, of course. That's all I have to say on that matter. That, like you said, I completely agree with you. Julian Nagelsmann being sacked was an awful decision, and I don't want to say sack the board because a lot of the fan base are pursuing the nuclear option, which is just completely sacking the board, which for any club, big or small, I don't think is ever a good decision. Phasing out the board for newer members is, of course, always a possibility and an option which I would encourage. However, you also have to realize that these men, of course, are experienced at their jobs. They
Yeah.
are very experienced in the footballing scene, and that yes, they may have made a mistake, but you still have to understand that there are possibly other things happening behind the scenes that
Yes.
us as club fans don't know. And so, honestly, that's all I have to say on that matter.
Okie
Yeah,
dokie, man. That's a good point, though. You're right. You know, sacking Julian when they did is, and it's just a disgrace, to be honest. It just is.
absolutely.
You just can't do that, to be honest with you. Other than that, any other things you want to talk about?
Last thing I want to talk about, I wanted to revisit the point of us getting a striker.
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about how it is absolute. I want to understand your take on it. What do you think? Should we realistically get a striker?
Yes, we have to have a striker. At the start of this, you said about Chupo and that you like him and all of that, and I'm 100% with you. I think Chupo-Moting this season, he was the understudy of Lewandowski. He was as simple as that. He's come in, and he shouldn't be our number 9. He just shouldn't. But he's done well this season. The fact that Bayern Munich didn't go and get a striker, now I think they probably did want Sadio Mané to be that man. It didn't work. That didn't happen. But the fact that we didn't go and get a striker, for me, is the same as sacking Julian Nagelsmann. It's a disgrace. You can't give Lewandowski, one of the best strikers in Bayern's history, Barca, you can have him for 50 mil or whatever, and then we don't get a striker. It's just stupid. So yeah, a striker has to happen. I don't care who it is. I'd rather it would be a young player like a Colo or an Osimhen, someone like that. Not Harry Kane for me. I'm an Englishman myself, and I wouldn't want him at Bayern, to be honest. So I know I went on a little bit of a rant now. I'll let you go now.
And I always love hearing about your takes, and so does the fan base of your channel. And no, I obviously have to agree with you there that a striker is absolutely necessary. Choupo-Moting, for what it's worth, has done an absolute service for this club, especially in the amount of goals he scored, especially in the Champions League. I mean, he's scored a fair amount of goals in the Champions League, 5 or 6 goals, if I'm correct.
Big ones as well.
Yeah, big ones, especially in important games. He scored versus Pilsen. Did he score versus Inter Milan? It's losing me right now if he scored versus Inter Milan. The main point should
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's losing me currently. However, the main point should be that definitely Choupo-Moting, for what it's worth, has done a great service for this club in scoring necessary goals, as well as providing assists for the record.
Yeah.
But honestly, a striker, and as you said, especially a young striker, is absolutely necessary. And I'm not going to say that I didn't want Erling Haaland at this club. I mean, I just wanted to,
Me too.
Yeah.
100%.
Every single Bayern fan wanted Erling Haaland at this club, and I just want to say that if we did get Erling Haaland at this club, oh man, he would have scored 1 trillion goals, wouldn't he?
It would have been a different story. We wouldn't even be talking like right now about Bayern going out, to be honest. The guy is ridiculous, generally.
Definitely. We definitely, yeah. And so I think we should really find us a striker with a similar set of skills to Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland showcases one of Europe's best strikers, a European striker who's capable of, at a young age, scoring an amazing amount of goals. His strength, his speed, his mentality, and his mindset, all of it are key elements to making any great player. And the fact that he's combined them all to make himself one of Europe's greatest strikers, we need a player like him. I feel like, of course, there are a number of strikers in the European scene who are young and capable of filling this role. Osimhen, Vara is a winger, not a striker, pardon. I was about to say him. Osimhen, you have, of course, Colomwani, a great striker for Eintracht Frankfurt. He proved that during the World Cup, of course, where he played very well for France, especially in the final. I was surprised how well he played in the final. I think those are, and a shout is Vlahovic, really. I mean, he's in that old Vlahovic, and at the same time, he's quite young. We could get him for cheaper from Juventus, considering their current situation in the league with the points reduction. He would be a great striker, but of course, that's just a shout, and that isn't for me to decide.
Yeah, of course.
And that's all I have to say, honestly, on that match. That we should really get ourselves a young striker who is capable of proving himself on the largest stage in Europe, which is the Champions League, not only just the league.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything you've said, man. 100%. Great take. Thank you for coming on again, Fahad. Hopefully, yeah, man. Thank you. Generally, thank you for keep coming on, man. And hopefully we continue this because you have a great take with it as well. And I'm very happy to have fans on the channel. That's the whole point of this channel, of course, being a fan channel. But yeah, if you guys have enjoyed, please do smash the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below. I'm sure Fahad will be back again on the channel very, very soon. And until then, we'll see you guys in the next one. keep your heads high, man. It is what it is. The border to blame for me, but just keep your heads high. Other than that, that's all I've got to say. Till then, though, Mia Samia, peace out.